Just getting started here, guys. Why is this messing up? All right, guys, just getting started here. Today we're going to talk about $5 a day investing, right? Investing is one of the easiest things that you can absolutely do. And it really doesn't really cost you that much money at all. So what we have to understand is you have a job, you're working your butt off each and every day. And hold on, let me fix this really quickly, guys. Bear with me before I get started. But anyway, we have to understand that investing is one of the easiest things that you can do. $5 a day, 7 days a week, every month. So $5 a day, 7 days a week, that's 5 times 7 is $35. So $35 a week. And I popped up this little thing from CNBC here, just so you can get a small synopsis of what $5 a day looks like over the course of time. They say investing just $5 a day into an account with a 10% annual return could net you around $30,000 in 10 years. So in 30 years, that's $330,000 and $2.3 million in 50 years. Now, granted, if you're starting at 20, you're already 70. So what I did was I basically just typed in interest calculator. And one of my favorite is the one from MoneyChimp. Really simple, really unique. So we start off with $0. See, annual addition. So if 7 times 5 is 35, that's for your week. And you have 52 weeks in a year. That's $1,800. So you have $1,800, years to grow. Let's just go with 10. That'll work. And then interest rate. So let's go with the basic 10%. 7 to 10% is good. But over the course of time, I'm noticing that the trends have been a lot more than 10%. It's kind of like 15%. And let's just go with basic 12 times compounding, right? It compounds every month. Calculate. $30,982.80. Now, from the report, or the news report that is, they did basic calculation. They didn't even go with interest, okay? Compounding interest that you should be having on that investment account. So let's just say, for instance, let's have a little bit of fun with this. Years to grow. Let's just go for 20. Say, for instance, you are, I don't know, let's say, for instance, 30. And so you're like, hey, I want to invest for 20 years. I want to retire when I'm 50. You know, a lot of people want to do this FIRE. Financial independency, retire early. So that goes with 20 years. We're going to keep everything else the same. That's $1,800 a month. $1,800 a year, $150 a month, $35 every week, $5 a day. This is at 10%. Compound interest is 12 times annually. We're going to calculate $114,000. And it's about $115,000 when you accumulate the interest. So let's have a little bit of fun. Let's change the interest rate to 15%. Now we're at $227,000. That's only doing $150 a month. So one more calculation. I'm not going to bore you with this. We're going to go back to 10%, and we're going to do 10 years to grow. But I know some of you have the capacity in the room to actually invest $200 a month, $250 a month. So let's go with $250 a month. Do the calculations here. So wait a minute, $250 a month times 12 equals how much? $3,000. So you got $3,000. That's going to be your annual addition. 10 years to grow at 10% at 12 interest compounded annually. Calculate $51,638.01 according to the calculator. So nonetheless, can you actually do this? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. This is very attainable. This is very easy to do. Now, I invest way more than $150 a day because it's quite simple. It's quite simple. It's too easy to do. So I made a list, or rather, I just looked up a list of all the things that you can buy for $5. Now, depending on where you live, you can either buy a gallon of gas or 4 gallons of gas for $5. Okay, you can buy a cup of coffee, not Starbucks, for $5. But I'm gonna name some really strange things here that I've looked up that you can actually buy with $5 a day, guys. Okay, with $5 a day. One is a water temperature indicator from Amazon for $3.96. Another one is some sheet grabbers for Bed Bath & Beyond. Another one is a gold face mask from Target. What else do we have? A cookie cutter. You can buy a cookie cutter for about $3. You can buy, what is this? An artificial plant. I'm just going to run down the list. I'm not going to give you the prices. Just know there's $5 or even less. An MP3 player. That's the old iPod shuffles. A fleece throw. Let's see, a laundry bag. A set of wine skirts. An instant decorating upgrade. A bottle opener ring. A jelly cube tray. And some of you guys have all this various and abstract and miscellaneous objects that you paid $5 or less for. A bottle of wine you can buy for, like the Bigfoot brand. You just could be so lucky. A whole lot of straws. A spike collar for your dog. A bow tie for your dog. Some essential oils. A set of bathroom dishes. I guess it's from the dollar store. And that's another thing. You can go to the dollar store and buy 5 things for $1. Well, maybe like 4, including tax, right? A TSA compliment travel kit. A snack storage container. A toilet lid cover. An extension cord. A stainless steel bowl, strainer that is. A tea strainer. A outdoor tiki torch. A colorful razor holder. Just to hold your razor. A shower tote. I'm already on the 30th item. A high-tech night light. A spare key holder, a fake little rock that you put outside, like no one knows about that yet, right? A Newton's cradle. A cord organizer. Pictionary, the card game. A T-clip. A collapsible shot glass. A 3-way mirror. An HDMI cable. Reusable chopsticks. A meat shredder. A scalp massager. A seatbelt cutter. A chick shoe organizer. A cooler contact lens case. A bunch of LaCroix, that horrible water, that carbonated water that has a really light taste. Some cheap headphones. A hand juicer. Lace locks. A flashy beach ball. The best drink at Starbucks. Yeah, right. That is a lie. I don't know what I had that on the list. And a fidget spinner. So I just went over a whole list of things that you can buy for $5. And one of the entities that I like to go through, right? So you're saying, hey, I can't really invest $5 a day through Robinhood, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and all these other sorts of entities. That is why I'm in love with Stash. I'm not a sponsor from them. I just invest with them. To me, it's one of the best platforms out there. I've always made money with Stash. Now, when you get into Robinhood, you guys want to be a intermediate to a advanced or expert investor. Now, you can go on there and you can buy a whole fund, a whole index or ETF fund. You can. But with Stash, you can do micro investing, or you can buy the entire stock, meaning that if you have the amount of that fund or that stock, you can go ahead and just put the money into your account, invest inside it, and you will own one entire share. Now, if you don't have that type of money and you just allocate $5 a day, or rather $150 a month, then you can allocate different amount of monies into different either ETFs or individual stocks, because now Stash has individual stocks where you can micro invest inside of and still make money. Now, I've been pushing people for the past year or so into ETFs and index funds for a couple of reasons, right? One reason, you have a basket of stocks. You have a basket of stocks that you can invest from. And I might just look it up really quickly for you guys so you understand exactly what I'm talking about at Stash Invest. They have a basket of stocks for you to actually pick from. And I'm going to go to investments, browse ETFs, because again, they have individual stocks as well. So I'm going to share my screen here, guys. Hope you can see this. All right. And now, so okay, guys, I'm having some difficulties here, but I really want to show you these different sorts of funds. Now, from top to bottom, you have aggressive mix, you have AI top US picks, all that glitters, and American innovators, big business bonds, big money. So I could bore you and just keep reading the names of them, but let's dive deep into one, so you can see all of the different types of stocks inside of the ETF. That way, you can actually invest. You can actually invest. So let's do this. I'm noticing that you guys can't see it. Let's just do this. You know what? You won't be able to see it, guys. I'll have to put a display capture up. But nonetheless, I'm just going to walk you through it. I'm walking through it so I don't bore you. So inside of the ETFs, exchange traded funds, on Stash, right here, you don't even have to have a login. You can go in, you can, on the top banner, you can hit investments, and they're going to say stocks, and it says ETFs. The one that I picked are American Innovators. Now, this is a Vanguard stock. Now, what Stash does, they use sort of these Y2K millennial names to be catchy, right? To be fun with it. But the ticker for it is VGT, and what that means is Vanguard Information Technology ETF. Okay? Quite simple. But here's the thing. You always have to invest $5 or more, right? $5 or more. That's just their standard. Top holdings of this ETFs. Apple. You'll be investing in Apple. 16% of this particular fund is Apple. The next one is Microsoft, Visa, MasterCard, and Intel. Those are the top holdings, okay? Those are the top holdings. And for this particular fund, it costs you, now that's one thing they're missing here, but I know it's well over $100, but you can invest inside of it for just $5, right? So the one thing that I love is I love automatic payments. I like auto pay. I like auto investing. I like everything auto, because the money that I see in my account, I'm like, that's the money that I can spend, because I have money paying down my debt. I have money going to my high yield savings for my emergency fund. I have money going to my investment account, and I have some money going to my vacation account, because the boy loves vacation. I love to go to vacation, definitely once a year, sometimes twice a year, just depends. But here's the thing. What you guys have to understand is, if you're not investing, first and foremost, your money ain't making you money. Two, you're not combating inflation. Now, inflation varies 1.9 to 2.1%. And what that simply means is this. If you went out and you bought $100 worth of groceries, right? You took note of it. You took the note of the price of all your groceries. And then the next year, on the anniversary, on the same date, the next year, and you bought the exact same things, right? Statistics, inflation, and the economy tells us that you will be paying 1.9 to 2.1% more. Now, currently, there's only what I call them kind of big baller stats, high yield savings account, where you have to have like 20,000 plus that's going to give you 3 to 4%. But I have some banks that I put on one of my videos, high yield savings, that gives you 2% or more. So you are already either beating, meeting, or slightly below inflation. You want to be close to overinflation as possible so your accounts don't lose any money at all. You don't want your accounts to lose any money at all. And so some of those banks right off the top of the one that I use is called Banesco USA. Banesco USA. And they were around 2.7, but I think they dropped to around 2.3 because the market. Everything is dependent on the market. Someone sneezes, the market goes down. Someone eats an apple, the market goes up. Okay, that's based upon the walking theory. Basically, no one can predict the market. But I can tell you this, when people don't meet their earnings, okay, when they don't meet their earnings that they projected, 9 times out of 10, their stock decreases. If they meet their earnings or they exceed their earnings for that quarter, that companies, those organizations, then their stock usually rise in value. But nonetheless, if you're not investing, you're definitely not combating inflation, and then your money is not making you money. If you just have your money inside your bank, okay, if you just have your money inside your bank, you're like, oh, with Wells Fargo, I'm with Bank of America, I'm with Chase and all these other banks. I want you to look at your savings rate. I want you to look at your saving interest. Most of these banks, Navy Federal, USA, you name it, Pentagon, Federal, and credit unions, they're only giving you 0.1%, 0.15% on interest on your money. That's all they're giving you. I just want you to grasp that. If I'm getting 2% on my money, okay, 2 point something, and you're getting 0 point something, you don't need to know math, right? I mean, you probably need to know like 5th grade math, which I know you guys know. So this is not hard. This is not hard math. You don't need to be a brainiac, a whiz kid, a mathematician to understand that investing and using high yield savings account is profitable. And here's the thing, I just released a video the other day, and it was talking about your bank account. And it was kind of a dark thing where I blanked out the screen because I wanted you to understand inside of your bank account you have no idea what's going on. It's dark in there. The only thing you look at, you go inside your mobile app, or you go inside your bank, or you go on your computer, and you like, okay, how much money do I have? Oh, okay, well I got $800, I got $2,000, I got to pay this bill, pay this bill, pay this bill. Once you pay those bills, are you saving your receipts? Are you allocating a fund? Or are you allocating an allowance for yourself to actually spend? If you're not, then you're doing yourself a great injustice, especially if you have debt. Especially, it doesn't matter with debt, right? It doesn't matter with debt. It could be a car debt. It could be a house debt. It can be a boat debt. It could be a condo debt. Whatever the debt is, if you are not trying to alleviate that debt, then you're doing yourself a great injustice. Now, if you're a business owner, you may always have debt depending on your recycle of cash, right? This the way your residual income may be coming in. It may be coming in slow, so you might have a debt until you pay those things off, right? Now, granted, if you're struggling or if you're trying to build right now, you have to be a minimalist. I can't believe I said it right this time. You have to be a minimalist. And you have to restrain from those normal activities that you do. Because if you don't do those things, you're not going to have the money to build on. Right now, when you're young, right, if you're anywhere from 20 to 50 years old, you're still young, okay? You're still young. Some people might call you old head, but who cares, right? You're still young. And you still want to have fun. You still want to dress nice. You still want to look good. You still want to travel. Then you have to plan for these things. And then the dark thing that I was actually using for that particular video about your bank account is that when is the last time you actually went inside your bank account or you saved your receipts, right? You went inside your bank account and you was like, man, I was balling out. I bought a drink, I bought a drink, I bought a drink. I went to Starbucks. I went to the comedy show. I bought this, I bought that. I was on Amazon. I was on Walmart.com. I went to Walmart. I went to the grocery store. I went here. And I didn't even need half those things. But then you tell me that someone say, yeah, man, I'm scared to invest. You don't know what those people are doing with your money. They're trying to make you money. Investing is simple. You're basically giving an organization or corporation, a business, You're fronting them cash, and you're banking on, or rather you're betting on, now it's not to get involved with gambling, you're betting on that they're going to make your money grow, right? And before you put your money into anything, you have to do your research. And it doesn't have to be an extensive research like a company like Apple, as I was saying, that's in the American Innovators ETF on Stash. You know, Apple is always innovating. They're always innovating, they're always advancing technology, and they're always inventing new products. And you know that people buy Apple. So is Apple a solid investment? Yes. Would I buy Apple in an individual stock? No. You know why? Because at any moment, Apple can make a crappy product like the MacBook Pro, one of those sort of things. I'm not a Mac guy, if you can tell. But they have great products. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing on Apple. They have great products. I'm just an Android guy. You know what I'm saying? I got the Google Pixel on deck, baby. Yeah, and the camera is pretty good, but the front facing. Okay, this is not a tech video. Then also inside this American Innovators stock here, you have Microsoft. And most of you have Microsoft computers. Think about that. Everything in your home is a stock. I have a brother's Wi-Fi Bluetooth printer here. Okay, the name of his brother, you might have an HP. Okay, you might have a Linux, you might have an LG or Samsung printer, whatever you have. The next one is Visa. I have a Visa card. The next one is MasterCard. I have a MasterCard. Then the next one is Intel. Now here's the thing, Intel Corporation. Right now I'm using my Asus ZenBook laptop, and I'm gonna tell you about these companies on here. Intel, just named it. NVIDIA, that's a gaming graphic card company, or just graphic cards company. Then Asus itself. Most of these, everything in your home that's computerized or even just plain products are stocks. And those 4 or 5 stocks that I just named are in the America's Innovators ETF on Stash. So what you need to understand is this. You don't need a lot of money to invest. And in my opinion, ETFs and index funds are the safest way to invest. But even on Stash, you can still invest in the individual companies. Like, no, I know Apple's always doing great, so I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket. And you can do that. Or you can do Apple, or you can do other individual stocks within Stash. Now, you can also do these things through Robinhood, but you're going to have to pay the entire price for those shares. Let's say, for instance, I didn't look at the market today. Let's say, for instance, Apple is $2,000 a share. But you want to invest in Apple. But you can't invest in Apple, right? Because Apple is $2,000 a share and you don't have $2,000. So let's just, you know what? Let's have a little fun with this. Let's see how much Apple is. Let's see, Apple share price. Was I close? Oh no, I'm thinking about Amazon. Amazon around $2,000, but Apple's $249. You're like, I'm not putting all that money into Apple in one share. But what you can do is, I can also search for VGT. That's the Vanguard Information Technology Index Fund that is listed on Stash, but instead of $224. That contains Microsoft, Intel, MasterCard, Visa, and also your Apple. That's all inside the Vanguard Information Technology that is listed on Stash, right? And it rose 1.15%. Now, I'm looking at this ETF here, and over the course of time, let's do the 5-year mark. Oh, wow. Look at this. Back in 2015, this ETF fund, this share was $104. Okay, it was $104, but today, it was, now granted, 2015, January 9th, this ETF was $104, and today, $249. $249. Oh, it dropped some, hold up. $224, it rose 1.15%. I'm sorry, $224. But a couple years ago, it was worth $109, I believe I said. But nonetheless, that's only 4 years. Your money more than doubled. See, it's not people say, hey Ross, well, how can I make a lot of money investing? Well, I like to think what Warren Buffett says. He said the transfer of wealth is from the impatient to the patient. Meaning, when the market crashes or the market goes up and down, people are selling and buying stocks. You put your money into solid investments, whether it be an individual company or ETFs like I love, and you hold it. Because the market does this, right? You know it does that W. It goes up, down, but it's always on an upward slope. Even during the recession of 2008, 2009, the market was going boop, 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 and then it crashed, and then it recovered as quickly as it crashed over the course of time. Now, the market on average crashes roughly every 10 years. So, depending on when the last crash, 2009, we're 2019, I'm just going to predict in the next 2 years is going to crash. And I'm going to tell you right now, do not sell your stocks. Do not sell your funds. The only people that I would say, hey, you know, if you really need to sell it, like if you over 65, 60, and you just want to have a blast before you die because the doctor say, hey, man, you got a month to live. So you're going to snatch all your investments out and sell your real estate, then okay, maybe that's the solution. But even then, I will leave something for my family. But nonetheless, the other reason why I love ETFs is because all of them, well, all the ones that I have, but 99% of them all produce dividends. You probably know a few people say, oh, I just live all the retirement from my job and my dividends from my investments. You probably heard that. That's because over years, 10, 20, 30 years, they kept buying into their index and ETFs and individual stock portfolios, which produce a massive amount of stocks. I have a buddy of mine. I won't say his name. I won't put him on blast. But he has like over 300 or 400 shares of Apple. Okay? He's making great money. Now, here's the thing about investments. If that investment is not giving you dividends and it's just growing and you don't touch it, that's money you have access to, but it's not like money that's making you rich right now. You get what I'm trying to say? Good shares, what I love is ETF, and I know I'm pushing this ETF thing, I'm so sorry, but these are very safe investments for you beginners and novice and people who really don't know about investment. Now, you guys who are intermediate experts in advanced, then you know these are still solid investment, but you might want to go with something a little riskier because you watch the market a lot more closely. But for your everyday working man and woman, you just want to throw some money into some investment, and then you want to look 10, 20 years like, oh man, I made $20,000, $30,000 that I didn't even account for, okay? You can pay off your house with that money or anything else you can pay off with. So the thing I love about ETFs is because they go from 10% to 30% sometimes, at the lowest 7%. They continue to grow every year, and 99% of them produce dividends, okay? Because I invest through Stash, I invest through Vanguard, I invest through Fidelity because of my my organization. I have stocks with them through Fidelity, and I don't pay a commission price. It's something Fidelity is actually producing right now because guess what? They're trying to compete with Robinhood and also that new company that came out called Webull. I also invest with Fundrise. Fundrise is a real estate investment trust. They go out and they buy residential, and I believe some commercial properties. I could be wrong, but I know they buy residential properties. And you are the investor investing inside of them. They take your capital. They go out and they really, and I actually did a lot of research on them guys. They go out and they do a lot of research on property to buy that they predict that grows over the time. I've made nothing but money with Fundrise. Nothing but money with Fundrise. I think there's a new one out there called Rooftop or something like that. I might have to look inside of that, but you have to diversify your financial portfolio, okay? You know I used to always preach about the 4 tiers of money. The 4 tiers of money are quite simple, okay? Creating a budget, decreasing your debt or alleviating your debt, emergency fund, that's for your savings, and also investing, and then all that encompasses your what? Your credit score, because that's definitely going to help your credit score. But truthfully, the only thing that your credit score is good for is maybe renting, buying a home and a car at a low interest rate, and other things that you can probably, or getting a business loan, right? Because you know your credit score is kind of like your trustworthy score. You got a 600. You know what? You got a 650. That's considered okay to good credit in some entities. I guess I give you an 8% interest rate. Woo, 8%, that's a lot. But when you start getting to 720 to 750, 720 is on the precipice, on the cusp of good credit to excellent credit. Of course, you got an 800, that's excellent credit. And if you have 800 to 850, that's exceptional credit. Like me, I just have good credit. I have excellent credit. I think I have about a 725 or something like that, right? Because I don't really do too much with my credit. I try to do everything in cash, or unless right now I'm using my credit card for everything. I'm using my credit card for everything, and I have many videos going back and forth about credit cards, when to use them, when not to use them. You shouldn't use them. You should deal in cash. But if you're responsible, like myself, pat on my back. I use my credit card because I'm taking a trip next year, so I'm paying everything with my credit card. I'm accumulating those miles and points because I know these are my regular bills. This is on my rent, my water, my utilities, my Netflix, which I should really get rid of because I have an app that I actually watch movies and TV shows for free. I can't really say it on YouTube because I don't think it's ethically right. I don't feel bad. But the point I'm making is this. If you're not following my structure program, or the 4 tiers of money, and we're going back to that Doc Thing video that I was referring to earlier, is that you do not look at your bank account. You only look at how much money you have left to spend. You need to look at your bank account to see all the expenses, not the bills, the expenses that you have. The only thing you're worried about is the amount of money that you have. Let's see. Let's read some of these notes. Nader said my credit score dropped to 670 after I paid all my debt and closed my credit cards. No, Nader, you don't supposed to close your credit card, sweetheart. No. And I'm sorry, maybe if you're a male, my apologies. The name is kind of unisexual. But anyway, you don't supposed to close your credit cards, okay? You don't supposed to close your credit cards. The only way that the credit cards make money is, the credit card companies make money if you have a balance on them. I call Capital One and I say, okay, what is the date that I need to pay off all my bills before you guys accrue interest? Capital One say, you pay everything off by the 4th, you're good. Oh, okay. Then they don't accrue interest, okay? And I know it's too late now, right? But no, here's the thing. If you want your credit score to go back up, you need at least 2 credit cards. Now, for you who don't understand this whole, it's kind of like a puzzle on how you raise your credit score, right? But a lot of it has to do with your credit history. And they take credit cards as your history. That's part of your history. Any loans that you may have, like you bought a car, you bought a house, and your credit cards. Hold on to your credit cards. Pay them off, cut them up, but do not call the credit card companies to close them. Oh, no. Do not close them. You need at least 2 revolving accounts. I have 3. Okay, I have 3. Because credit cards actually help your credit score, because not only does it build a credit history, but it also increases your debt to income ratio. Meaning like this, I have a couple of cards, and I think if I put them all together, give me a second, please. Let's see, 20, 26. I have about $35,000 in credit, right? And I never use none of that. And the golden rule is never use more than 30% of your credit. Do not go over 30% of credit utilization. So basically, if you have a credit card for $1,000, never exceed $300. Now, listen to this. if you do exceed $300, just make sure you pay it off before the bill due date. Because if you pay it off before the bill due date, then it really doesn't matter. So you can max it out all you want, but you have to be diligent. You have to be real. You have to be serious. You have to be, really on your finances and pay it off. Because then, if you don't pay it off after that date, that amount actually gets reported to the credit card companies, and they see that you're over 30% of utilization of your credit card, and it decreases. And it decreases your credit score. And you're like, oh man, I was just about to buy a house, but my credit score dropped 20 points. So if you got credit cards out there, and granted, if you don't have credit cards, get 2 credit cards. And if your credit is not good enough to get a credit card, start off with a secure credit card, which is basically the most funniest thing, because you're going to send a secure credit card company some money to put on your card so they can report it on your credit report and then start using that card. But it's like a debit card almost, okay? But the key about that is some of those secure credit cards, you can actually go over the amount and be in the deficit. But the same rules apply. You don't want to go with 30% utilization after your bill due date. Here's another trick. If you have horrible credit and you have some friends, you have a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a sister, brother, cousin, mother, that they just trust you with their lives and they love you so much and they want to help you out, grandmother, grandfather, etc., or just a best friend, and they have A1 credit and have a couple of credit cards, guess what you can do? This is what the rich people do. This is what the rich people do to help themselves out. This is what every people do except us. They add them to their credit card account. No. They don't give them a credit card. They add their name and their social security to their credit card, because I'm good with credit. I'm going out buying stuff, right? Boop, boop. I'm having a great time. I'm paying it off. I'm paying my bills off. Use my credit card. My credit score is going up, up, up. The only thing you're doing is sitting back like, man, last month I had a 650. This month I got a 700. All because someone added you to their credit card account, okay? To their credit card account. It's kind of like if somebody say, hey man, I'm about to go buy a car, I want you to be on the loan with me. Now, of course, could be tricky, because if this person is not on the up and up, but like myself, I'm a real trustworthy guy when it comes to money. Disclaimer. Disclaimer, right? So if I'm trying to help somebody out, I can put their name as a co-applicant, right, on the car loan, and as I'm paying it off, building that history, their credit score will rise again. Okay. Case in point, my ex-wife. Not gonna talk bad about her, because I'm not. When we first met, her credit score was in the 600s, the low 600s. Before we departed, her credit score was over 730 or 740, right? Yes, I'm the one who did that, because I knew the tricks, I knew the hacks of helping her to raise her credit score. When she bought her Xfinity truck, she didn't have the credit to do it, right? She had the money. And see, that's the thing. You can have the money, but she didn't have the credit to do it. And if she did do it, it would be an astronomical price. Because I think since she was the main person on the loan, it was like 8%, 9%. Oh my God, that's a lot of money. So I got on the loan with her. Okay? I got along with her, which helped lower it down to around, I think, 5 or 4%. My car is at 3%. I think it lowered because of my credit score. But her credit score was still around 600. So before we departed, got divorced, her credit was so good because I was doing all these things to help her credit. She got well over 730. She went in and refi. Yes, she refi, and her credit and her loan percentage is like 3% like mine. Okay, because sometimes it doesn't really matter how good your credit is, whatever national amount that they have. If you got like 850, they might just offer you 0. They just want you to pay off the truck because they can trust you with their money, or maybe 1%, right? It just depends. All right, let me get back into this, guys. Let me read some of your notes here. I'm not ignoring you guys. This is Tidal Instruments. If you're watching right now, click that like and share button. My money makes money, dropping knowledge. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Jeff Bone Prize. My savings account was disorganized with cobwebs on it. This inspires me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I'm so inspirational. I'm so aggressive about money because when I was smaller, no one told me about money. Nobody told me about money. The one thing that they used to always tell me is, baby, you better save your money. And I'm like, okay, save my money for what? Save my money to buy groceries? Save my money to buy gadgets? Save my money for what? You need a reason to save money. And guess what? If you have kids or you want to have kids and you want the kid to go to college or you want to go to college or you want to buy a car or you want to buy a house, whatever it is you want to do with your money. And guess what? The main thing you want to do is retire and have money. You have to do these things I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to do them. Because at the end of the day, this is all on you. When you are broke, when you're 50, when you are broke, when you're 60, you're like, man, goddamn, I should have listened to Wall's World. Financial Literacy 101. This is very easy stuff, guys. This channel had a couple of names. I used to call it My Money Makes Money, Wall's World, and now it's Financial Literacy 101. I'm using all of them. But I think I'm going to keep the channel to Financial Literacy 101. But this is all about My Money Makes Money. If you don't understand, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, then this channel is not for you. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, this channel is not for you. This is for intelligent people who want to do right by their finances, who want to actually retire. There's so many people, and you can see them everywhere you go. You're like, oh, well, that guy must be retired because he's a Walmart greeter. No. He needs this job. There's a lot of people in their 60s and 70s, mainly African Americans like myself, right, who needs these jobs. Some of these other cultures, Asians, Indians, and Caucasian, Asians, and Indians, they're doing stuff for fun. They're having jobs like, I'm just going to open up a lemonade stand because somebody taught them finances well before their 20s. If you're not learning how to invest, if you're not learning how to decrease your debt, if you're not learning how to save, if you're not learning how to open up your own business or have a side hustle, then you're not going to make it. And I'm not saying everybody should be an entrepreneur, but you should have some sort of side hustle. I remember I used to sell shades. I went on Wish and I bought over 100 shades. Do I have them shades right here? You're lucky I don't have those shades. They were really nice shades too. I still have them. I still have like 1 or 2 pair. But they were really nice shades. I think I bought them for anywhere from $3 to $5. I think they got cheaper as I bought them in bulk. I sold those shades for $30 a piece. Being like, man, these are nice shades. A side hustle. Side hustle. People love shades, right? What about you? You could be a part-time mobile notary. I put that out a couple of times. There's just so many things you can do on the side. You can have a part-time job, right? You can have a part-time job being a Walmart greeter, right? It doesn't matter the hustle. Sometimes you have to do something you really don't want to do to be somewhere you really want to be. And that's what you need to understand. Let me read some of your notes. Nader said, my debt income ratio is 8%. My house is almost paid off and I'm only 31 years old. That's pretty good. I bought my house in 2009, right after the housing crash. I would say I got lucky. Indeed, you got lucky. Let's move on. Latanyas. Well, let me hold some money then. No. I try to be smart with money, but I've got an itch to buy a new truck. Okay, so if you're hearing me, David, listen. What you going to do with this new truck? What is the reason for this new truck? Why do you need a new truck? Are you a construction worker? Or are you a person into building houses, or building businesses, or demolition? What are you doing with this new truck? What is the functionality of you having a truck outside of you just wanting a new truck? Now, granted, whatever this truck is, I know that they have pre-certified trucks. And pre-certified are vehicles that 20 to 30% top head that, you know, when people say, oh, when you buy a new vehicle and you drive it off the lot, the depreciation value is anywhere from 20 to 30%. And that's absolutely true. Because when you're at the dealership, they charge you 1,000% overhead. So when you buy a pre-certified vehicle, not only if it's already safety inspected and all those great things, it also has a warranty. Make sure it has a warranty. And most times it has any less than 25,000 miles on it. So it's almost like brand new. They're going to give you a full tank of gas, just like the new truck. They're going to clean it. They're going to detail it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you're not paying the overhead. And you still going there negotiating on price. Especially, and here's a tidbit for everybody, especially if you want to buy it in cash. The bigger your down payment, the more negotiating power you have. The better your credit score, the lower your payments. The lower your payments, okay? So these are all things that's going to help you to get those things that you really want. If you really want a truck and your finances are in order, please buy pre-certified. You have the 20 to 30% that will already be depreciated off your price, and the bigger your down payment, you can go in and actually get that truck at a much, much lower price. All right. See, Copper Son. Peace, my brother. Keep dropping this jewelry. We need this. I will do, man. Thanks for the inspiration. I just like Toyota Tacomas. Thanks for the advice. No problem. I'm here for you guys, man. Let people know about this channel. I've been working hard for 3 years now. And for me, when people try to increase, subscribers and things of that matter, for me, it's about getting the information out right home where you understand it. And I'm not talking about all the things that I know, like the EPS of a stock share. Okay, the EPS is called earnings per share, and you will see that on Robinhood and other investment platforms. I don't want to talk like that, but I'm gonna just give you a small tidbit of what I'm talking about. EPS. Take a company like Apple, since we're working on Apple, right? We're eating apples. Apples are good for your health. Some of the products are. Pixel Life. Anyway, EPS is the amount of money that a company can actually pay you in dividends. You see what I'm saying? So Apple can actually pay all of their investors $8 every 3 to 4 months, but they pay them like $2 every 3 or 4 months. Because Apple wants, a cool billion to innovate, to invent, et cetera, and grow their business. So Amazon, they don't really give out dividends yet because they're still growing. They're growing exponentially. And if you knew the mind of Jeff Bezos, when Amazon first started off, they was losing money. It's called the boomerang effect, meaning that at first we lose money, but he was so good at projecting the future and projecting logistics, it boomerang, and now Amazon's $1 trillion company. And that's why I invest with Vanguard. Vanguard is what, $5 trillion company. I think that's Jack Bogle. I think that's Vanguard. But yeah, he understood the boomerang effect. So a lot of times you have to understand what a company is really getting at, and so by Apple having all that money in their stash, ding, 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 keyword, stash, invest, go invest your money. Having all that money in their stash to do all these innovation and inventions, they can actually pay their investors $8 per share. That's your EPS. When you go down to one of these investment channels like Investment Watcher or the Multi-Fool, and you can actually dive deep into all the breakdowns of a stock, you'll see EPS. Here's another one. They call it candlesticks, but it's called the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. That's the little tic-tacs you see. All that's just analysis, guys. That's just analysis, right? When you go in and you break down a stock and it has all the stock data, those things are interesting to me, right? But what I do, I ball it all up and I throw it away and I give you guys a reel so you don't waste your time doing the stuff that I love. Like, man, I just wish Ron's world would just break it down to me easy, because I don't got time to look at EPS, RSI, who's the CEO, how old he is, who's his predecessor, who's coming after him, who's going to take his place, right? Let people on YouTube, Facebook, and all these social media platforms do the work for you. Just watch their videos. Give them a thumbs up. Watch their videos, get the information, and go out there and live your life and have fun. Do the things you want to do. Everybody don't want to be on YouTube doing videos, but you want the information. YouTube is only meant for 2 things: entertainment and information. Entertainment and information. You're coming over here watching the show. looking at comedy, looking at videos, or you're trying to be informed about something. And I hope that I'm informing you about all these great things. I really do. I want you to be, I want you guys to all be millionaires. And some of you are like, well, I just need enough money. No, you need the most money. Because at the end of the day, when you have the money that you need, when you have the money that you want, you can go out and do what you want, right? You're like, oh, I want to go to Bora Bora. I want to go to Africa. I want to go to Australia. But you know what you do? You settle for Vegas. Yeah, yeah. You settle for Vegas because that's the only thing that you can afford. And when you go to Vegas, guess where you're at? You're at the Circus. You ever been to the Circus? I looked inside. It was a circus. That's what it was. I stayed at the Wynn. Yeah, I'm not being bougie. I stayed at the Wynn. It was a very lovely time, and I went down to the Wynn, and I went inside the casino, and they had this club. Everybody comes to the Wynn for the club. All the celebrities, all the people. I didn't even know that, right? But I can't say, what is it? Oh, it's a club. I said, okay. I showed him my little thing. He said, okay, you stay here at the Wynn. And I was about to go inside the club. He said, oh, sir, there's a cover charge. I was like, I stay here. He said, yeah, still a cover charge. I said, well, how much is it? He said, $50. I said, $50 to go in there and pay more drinks, expensive drink, the cover charge? You're like, yeah. I want to see your manager. I want to see your manager. Manager comes. I took him to the side. I said, hey, sir, I spent this many dollars. I'm in your ambassador suite, whatever the name of it was. And I'm having a great time, but I'm a patron here. I'm a guest here. I stayed here. And I have to pay $50 to get inside. I said, that's quite ridiculous. I don't know if anybody else complained about it. But it would be a great justice if you let me in and gave me a couple of drinks on the house, and I would be a returning customer. It's a beautiful resort. It's a beautiful hotel. The service has been impeccable, and you guys are doing a wonderful and great job. The guy said, hey, VIP, drinks on the house. That's all I did. I complimented them. First of all, I showed them why I was upset. I broke it down. You have to be analytical about it, right? You can't let your emotions get involved when it comes to money. I broke it down, and then I told him what a wonderful place this is. And a guy like him, he said, you know what? I want this guy back, right? I want this guy back. And he gave me great service. So, not to make this video, we're already on an hour, guys. Thank you for staying with me. Hopefully you'll learn something. I'm going to try to do live videos a little bit more when I have the time. I have 2 jobs. Okay, I have 2 jobs. I should really be an entrepreneur, but I'm going to tell you this, man. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. That's thanks, Neil. That's assertive skills. Thank you. There are 9 types of intelligence, guys. My problem is I read too much too. There are 9 types of intelligence. And I think I possess at least 3 or 4 of them. And those are intra and interpersonal skills, and then some other skills I'm not going to get into. But before I leave, I want to give you guys some books, and bear with me because I don't have none of the books in front of me. I don't. No, I don't. I don't have none of the books in front of me, but I do want to help you with these books. So one of the books I want you to read is called Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. Powernomics. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. The economic struggles of a people is going to blow your mind and hopefully it motivates you to save, invest, decrease your debt. And for some of you, it's going to help you really strive to be an entrepreneur. Another book, Damon John's book, Rise and Grind. That's right, Damon John's book, Rise and Grind. Last but not least, what is this guy's name? Tony Morrison, Tony something. The inspirational speaker, the tall white dude. Unshakable. Man, unshakable. He went around to all the top investors like your Jack Bogles and your Ray Delanos, your Warren Buffetts, and he picked their brain. And you know what they all said? What I already believe. Put your money in ETFs and index funds. Leave them individual stocks alone. And he was saying that he said most people. Now, if you're a day trader, then you're not going to do that. You may put a little bit in there for a nest egg, for a safety net. If you're an expert investor, you're going to have an ETF maybe for safety net, but you're putting a lot of money recurring inside of those individual stocks. And then lastly, what I want you guys to do, I want you to go out and find and look for and look at is a documentary series called Hidden Colors. That's by Tariq Nasheed. Hidden Colors. He has the 5th one out now, but he has Hidden Colors 1 through 5. This is great information because with all that information, it's going to help shape your mind in a way that, regardless of what all your complaints are about, right? The one thing on this earth that's going to help you is more money in your pocket. You can cry about social injustice. You can cry about being disenfranchised. You can cry about being discriminated upon and someone's a racist. But I can tell you this, any establishment I went to, when I had the money, guess what? They gave me service. And if I had an issue, that person either got fired, laid off, or got sent home for the day. But money talks. Everything else, hey, if you have those groups that you're going and you're Black Lives Matter, I'm all for it. I'm there with you. But we got to get on this money. Okay, because if you're out there and you lose your job and you don't have nothing to fall back on, you're going to need some money in the bank. Now, last but not least, I know I kept saying that. I'm just going to read some of these notes. Neil Doe said, please put the books in the comments. No, not Power Novus. Powernomics. Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. Rise and Grind by Damon Johns. That's his name, Anthony Robbins. Thank you, Neil. And Unshakable by Anthony Robbins. We're not going to get into the Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read those too. But those three books, the Hidden Colors documentary series is going to shape your mind for the future. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if I left anything out. I know I went everywhere with this, but this all started about investing $5 a day. And my recommendation is go to Stash. If you look in my description, I have a link to Stash, okay? And what that's simply going to do, Stash is going to give you $5, and it's going to give me $5. And guess what that $5 is going to do? That $5 is going to help support this channel. I have all sorts of video equipment, video cameras that I use. Right here is on my computer. I even have a little mic over here that you can't see. See? Yeah, I didn't want that in the frame. But yeah, it's going to support the channel. And I can tell you right now, YouTube, I don't get rich off YouTube. YouTube gives me about 100, I think last month they gave me like $120, right? I like when my viewers say I need to be over 100,000 subscribers. Tell people about the channel. I'm going to be real about it. And this channel exists because I have made so many mistakes with my finances. I've been through so many financial courses. People say, oh, you should be a financial advisor. Financial advisors, in my opinion, are not good people unless they're fiduciaries. Fiduciaries are the only financial people that are supposed to be in your best interest. And I also question that. But when you get a financial advisor, he could be a stockbroker. Okay, he could be a third-party stockbroker brokering from another organization just to get your money. Oh, last but not least, and I'm out. I promise. Do not, I repeat, do not invest in mutual funds. Do not invest in mutual funds. Once you read Unshakable by Anthony Robbins, you're going to understand about all the hidden fees that are in mutual funds. The best funds are index and ETF funds because they have low expense ratios. And that's just kind of the money that Vanguard is charging you for producing the stock and doing the work for it, which is quite normal and is expected. But we're talking about pennies on a dollar. Expense ratios are not even 1% with Vanguard. Do not invest in mutual funds. This is Ross World. My money makes money. Financial Literacy 101. I hope you guys really learned something today. You guys has been an inspiration to me. And I hope that you guys stay with me, encourage people to come and join the channel, get the great information. And every now and again, I'm going to try to do some more live streams. You guys have a great night. Thank you, guys.